Shazam's box office is tracking strong. James Gunn is directing all of the superhero movies, and The Dark Knight returns to IMAX. Today on DC Movie News.
Welcome to Popcorn Talk, featuring movie discussion, news, and interviews. Popcorn Talk. We talk movies. And now, here's Popcorn Talk's DC Movie News.
Wonder Twin powers activate. Form of a blizzard.
Form of lice.
Okay, we'll take it. It's an animal. Lice are tiny creatures. You're going to go and get in somebody's head and create an itchy sensation and defeat the villains that way.
I was going to say gnats, but those are still the actual egg, and so I didn't know.
Yes, so you were a louse. Are you one single louse? Because you said lice. I don't think you can be multiple organisms. You said lice, that's multiple. You can't be like a litter of puppies. You're one dog or not. Anyway, welcome to DC Movie News, everyone, the show where we talk exclusively about news that relates to DC. Well, not exclusively, actually. That's a dirty lie to tell you exclusively. It's one of many subjects. It's the main subject, but really, you're here, as I am, to learn what's going on with the person to my left, and that is, of course, the crown jewel of the DC Movie News universe, Miss Roxy Striar.
That is me, that is she, I am her, and oh my gosh, do we have a ton of news today.
The Ides of March are upon us, and the world is turning upside down.
Ain't it so, ain't it so.
That was a little Johnny read there, wasn't it?
There is some really horrible, messed up things going on in the world today, and I'm just glad that we are here to talk about DC.
Yeah, guys.
Because there's some great things going on
We're
with
here
DC.
to hug you in this crazy mixed up world. We are only here for positivity and good things, even when it's just it's like a Wonder Twins blizzard louse storm.
Lice.
Yes.
Maybe I was trying to say activate form of both of us being lice.
That's not how the powers work.
Well, you don't know that.
So what should we talk about first? Okay, so I guess big news to get off right off on foot right here. James Gunn, okay, was just announced that he is going to be directing Guardians of the Galaxy 3, which, I mean, if you're a DC fan like myself, I don't know if you had this reaction, but my immediate reaction was like happy about it, but then I was like, oh man, we lost him. We just lost him.
What do you mean?
I thought we lost him. I mean, when I just read that, I'm like, what's going to be the next thing? I didn't expect it was going to be like, they worked it out. He's going to direct Suicide Squad 2 and then Guardians of the Galaxy 3. It's like John Romita Jr. going from DC to Marvel and back and forth or something like that, guys. It's like,
Here's
it's crazy.
what happens when you assume and you jump to conclusions and you didn't read the rest of it before you started making up your mind.
Please enlighten me some, Roxy.
Well, I just did. That's what happens. But lo and behold, he's going to be directing both for Marvel and DC within like a year and a half of each other with those releases, which is insane in the membrane.
Yeah, it does make you wonder if it's like, if he's going to have pre-production stuff going on for Guardians, but there's so much that they can do, I believe, even though it's with his leadership. Like, there is a lot that is already in place for that Guardians universe, including a script. So as far as even
Penned by him.
Yeah, like building sets, like early production, I think maybe can start. I really don't know that. I shouldn't be speaking like out of turn because I know he's going to have a huge film. Suicide Squad 2 is going to be a $100 million movie at least. It's going to be a big deal.
So I think that this is going to be fascinating to see because obviously a lot of people think that these two movies have similar tones. They're both these motley crews. They're both a bunch of unknown characters, or they were at least at some point, and people were calling Suicide Squad the Guardians of the DC universe.
Right, well, that's what and a lot of people were kind of hoping it was going to be the first time. Like when the first Suicide Squad movie came out, that's what it was certainly looking like, and then when they really relied on like the soundtrack and the flash cut editing, they kind of went back and tried to, engineer it to be more that.
Right, but the thing is, as a director, he's probably going to try to have very individual tones for both of these movies, as to not just be a guy who can do one thing very well, which is a little goofy and kind of silly. So I'm wondering, does this mean something different for Suicide Squad 2? Will he make a different turn here and decide to have Suicide Squad be a little darker, a little less goofy than Guardians.
It should be. I mean, I really hope it is. I definitely hope they don't lose the darkness. These are villains. We don't want them to be just like, slamming into each other. I think James Gunn, I think, shocker, the internet is, assumes a lot, right? Like everyone's like, oh, he's going to do a copy. You don't know that. You don't know what this guy has in store for Suicide Squad 2. He doesn't want to repeat Guardians. Remember, he wrote this script, I believe, after he was fired from Guardians of the Galaxy 3, which means he was taking all that ire into it and making this version. Both these scripts are already in place and already exist. The fact that he's directing both is blowing my mind a little bit because...
What do you think about the fact that this was actually decided, as they said in the article, months ago?
Yeah, and they were trying to work it out, right?
Well, they said that this is a decision that Disney came to months ago.
But they were trying to work it out with the Suicide Squad commitment and Warner Brothers, right?
I think that's you putting that in there.
Okay, I thought I saw that in the Variety article that that they were waiting for the schedules to match up.
Well, what they did say was they are going to wait to the wrap of Suicide Squad.
Right. So that to me, that's like, yeah, I guess. I mean, he was fired. Like. He accepted the job back. It's crazy. It's like, I don't know if people really saw this coming. People were holding out hope that he was going to get the Guardians 3 job for a while until it just kind of faded. There's talk that Kevin Feige went to bat for the guy, that it was just...
Obviously, Batista went to bat for him hard. Zoe Saldana, a lot of the cast. And I'm wondering how much they had to actually do with the reinstatement of him, because whatever they said behind closed doors about their appearances, their contracts, etc., might have affected the situation.
Yeah, I think them and also the entire world, like the social media landscape was like, don't crucify James Gunn. Just the guy for making terrible jokes that were not funny. That's different than when somebody is a bad dude.
Well, not the entire social media landscape. As we know very well, Jonny LoQuasto has been incredibly vocal on the show about the fact that he thought that Gunn should be fired from it.
Okay.
But a lot of other people. But my point being that we need to actually look into things and think first and act second. And the fact that Disney is reinstating him means that it doesn't actually go against their company policy, or they weren't actually that upset with what he did. They were reacting to the people, the
social pressure,
social media pressure and whatnot. And now that they've decided to reinstate him after looking into it, I think it will cause other big conglomerates to think first, act second. Yeah,
this is, we kind of alluded it to in a joking way at the beginning of the show, but this is a very caustic environment out there. We're hearing every day about people whose lives 10 years ago, 5 years ago, we were never this inside people's personal lives and just things that people do. It doesn't go away anymore because there's just so much out there, whether it's been posted on the internet or there's security cameras that see stuff happening. It's a crazy changing landscape, and it kind of leads into something else that we should talk to. We should say that El Dorado is going to be shooting with the title, or El Dorado is the shooting title for Suicide Squad.
Yeah, so this was found. There was an entire list of tons of different movies. I think they were all Warner Brothers movies, and what their working title, aka their code name for this purpose, is going to be. And it just said Suicide Squad 2 El Dorado. So
chat roll, let me ask you right now, what is that a reference to? What is El Dorado?
Westerny, like do what you have to do to survive. You guys let us know. I wanted to go to the chat briefly, though, talking about this whole Suicide Squad situation, because you guys have tons of opinions. And by the way, in case you didn't know, you can join us every single Friday at 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time live if you go to Popcorn Talks YouTube. That's how you get involved in the conversation. Or obviously, if you can't join us live, go to iTunes, leave a comment, leave a YouTube comment. We look at those as well. But right now in the chat, going back to James Gunn, Jack Dennis says, I'll be happy when I see the Suicide Squad and Guardians 3 trailer with James Gunn's director credit on both. Till then, I don't buy he's doing both.
Okay,
what do you think?
I want to hear people that think that out there. Like right now, it seems a little too good to be true. And this is we just heard this news. So much like many stories change and evolve, listen, that article, Variety reported it. They seem to have their ducks in a row. And it would be pretty awful of Disney to announce any of that stuff until it died down. James Gunn got to have an announcement of Suicide Squad. They're about to go into production. It would be very uncool for Disney/Marvel to make that announcement while that kind of goodwill was getting towards James Gunn in this new project. So this, to me, I am inferring that the companies are working together, and I believe that
I am too.
Yeah.
By the
So,
way.
but I do like that you're thinking that, and you don't buy it, and you shouldn't believe it until you see the trailers. El Dorado, I think, isn't it like about a quest for gold, like the road to El Dorado or something?
Bootstron says, never forget the road to El Dorado.
Right.
Animated movie.
Right.
Juan Diego Diaz says, El Dorado sounds like treasure, maybe a heist film.
Right.
So we got a couple different theories going on. Eon001 says, rip Suicide Squad 2. This movie can't catch a break. I don't look at it that way at all. I feel like this is actually a great thing for this movie.
It's a great thing for this movie.
And the fact
it's a
that
great thing.
we now have an incredible director on this, but the pressure is not on him that he is the guy who left Marvel, and what does that mean for this is gone. We just have a great director now. We just have a great script, hopefully, because he penned it, a great director, and he doesn't have to stress about all the pressure of this being his next Guardians, because he still has Guardians.
Somebody else in the chat room I just saw before, and I'm sorry I lost you, was just said, is this what's finally going to unite the Marvel and DC fans? I saw other people joking about the amalgam universe, but the idea that, like, hey, Marvel DC fans that still insist on having some kind of rival in a horrible world where bad stuff happens, like every day, like just yesterday, bad stuff happened in New Zealand. You know what I mean? Like, this is the last thing.
Real bad things.
The last thing we need to be arguing about. So I do think, while we were kind of joking, I do think there will. Like, and if he does both movies great, all I have to say is, I give a lot of props to this guy's work ethic, because it sounds like he's taking on a ton.
This guy is not going to sleep for at least a few years. 1991, Jay Smooth says El Dorado is the city of gold.
Right. Okay. Good. Yes.
So
All right.
we've got all different answers on that.
So just a final word about Suicide Squad. It seems like we're hearing that, this should have come as no surprise, because we were like, well, why did they need Deadshot, and why are they recasting Deadshot? Well, guys, because we hear it is about Deadshot.
He is the central focus of this movie, and they're drawing more from the classic 80s comic run. So that's why we need Deadshot in this Deadshot-driven film. So, I guess if that's what I want to give this director as much creative freedom as possible. And if James Gunn decided, in order to write the best Suicide Squad 2 script, and in order to direct the best script, I want it to be Deadshot focused, then I eat crow, and I'm fine with the fact that we are recasting Deadshot, because if that makes the best movie, then I don't care.
Yeah, it seemed like if Deadshot was just a character that could have been substituted with someone else, they would. And the more I think about it, the more faith I have in the script, as if to say, no, this is the story. We're not going to change the story because we lost an actor. Mm-hmm. It's like the story is the thing, and that excites me in any kind of media consumption.
Before we move on, guys,
yes.
from James Gunn, real quick question, just on a broader scale, do you guys think this news has bigger implications beyond Marvel and DC? Like, do you think we'll see other reversals of... the last 2 years have been a very reactive Twitter type of movie industry where one mistake and you're gone. Do you guys think this will have broader implications outside of just DC and Marvel?
I absolutely do. Now, I don't think those implications will go as far as to people who have been... allegedly are part of the Me Too movement or anything that gets proven in court. But for something like this, where a guy made a couple really distasteful, not cool jokes 10 years ago, I think that we will, like I said, think first, act second. Because my problem wasn't even necessarily that they fired him, which I didn't think they should have done, but it was that they did it like that. They did not look into it. They did not ask the cast, is this what he's like? They did not go to other producers. They did not talk to all the people he had worked with and be like, is this true about him? Are these jokes that make it sound like he is a pedophile actually true, or are these really, really bad jokes? They didn't do any of their due diligence. In fact, they hired him with the knowledge that he had said those things, with the knowledge that he had written those things. They already knew that when they hired him. And so I think that this is going to change how we handle these investigations, not as much seeing different companies reinstate all these people, but moving forward, it will affect who they actually fire.
Yeah, I think well said, Roxy. I think there's been a lot of reactive stuff. We just saw about like Lori Loughlin getting let go from Hallmark, with these allegations that came out. Like, it's just...
By the way, how embarrassing is that
So
situation?
embarrassing. And then her kid with the to makeup
Yeah.
line. I mean, and again, it's like Fire Festival stuff. It's like kind of for some reason, if you feel bad, but you feel good watching like
it's funny, but
these
it's-
wrist jerks go down.
yeah.
But it is people's lives are getting upended. It's awful. And James Gunn has been such a positive guy. Like his more current stuff on Twitter and everything. Like he's a very vocal guy. He speaks his mind. He was always the first person to be very resentful of the things he said, and he got ahead of it and did all the things he should have done. So I think you do have to look at these things as a case-by-case basis. You can't just destroy people's lives like that. And that kind of leads us into what we want to talk about next. One of the biggest stars
Good transition
on the
Adam.
planet is Johnny Depp, and you know from all the
was one of the biggest stars on the
so
planet.
like in the past year, like he hasn't been attached to any new projects. Like he was just in Crimes of Grindelwald and all that.
But remember how big of a thing it was that he was in that. Everybody was attacking J.K. Rowling. Everybody was attacking him, saying, you can't let this... And I think I was one of them. I'm sure I was. Like, why is this guy still in your movie? We saw that video of him yelling at her. She's got pictures of her bruises. She said that he is abusive. We can't have him here.
Yeah.
And now, for $50 million, he is coming back. It's been 3 years almost, and saying, this is defamation. I did not do any of those things. Not only was I in an abusive relationship, but she was the one abusing me. She almost severed one of my fingers. Here's video evidence to prove it, and also prove that she was beating herself up and showing those bruises as if I did this. Now, this is all allegedly because I haven't seen the footage, but this is what she has now somewhat copped to in court. So we're talking about this story as this is happening, and I don't know where this ends up, but if this is all case where she was kicking the crap out of him, she was doing these things to him, I don't know if she's going to be in Aquaman 2. And I know that's not the biggest part of this, people's lives
as it relates to DC movie news, I mean, this is why this is relevant here, because when this became very public, Johnny Depp, it seemed like, was a very bad guy and did a lot of bad things, and a lot of that could still be true. We don't know, but there's probably, you know, to paraphrase our president, bad things on both sides here. But it seems as if there's anything like what Smollett just did, right? Allegedly, right? Like staging something.
By the way, I had some kind of tweet that I was trying to formulate for like 3 hours about Amber Heard and Jussie Smollett being friends now, but I couldn't get the right verbiage. So if anybody wants to like help me there, trying to lighten the situation for a minute.
Wow, okay, so you can
I didn't get it though.
Tweet at Roxy Striar and let her know your way to link Heard and Smollett and some kind of,
and like which coffee they're getting and at which but again,
sort of portmanteau or something like that.
Yeah.
But you know, if any of that is true, you saw how quickly Jussie Smollett was let go. Talk about, you know, he wasn't convicted of anything in court either, but Empire dropped him right fast. And you know, the Kevin Tsujihara stuff that's still out there last week. I don't know if we brought it up, but he issued an apology.
Yeah.
But that's still out there. So now you have this. And if any of this is remotely true, I don't think there's any way she's in Aquaman 2.
What will we do? Will we recast her? Because we can't not have her.
I would recast her, and maybe with someone that can act this time. Whoa, did he say it?
Can I tell you, I'm so upset she was like my favorite part of the movie.
That is...
I told you, I loved her performance.
You're not alone. And you're not alone, and I kid, but honestly, I was not a huge fan of her performance. I think Momoa is the star of that movie, big time. I mean, they made Mira a great part of it, but it was like, between Nicole Kidman and Momoa, that's where, you know, Patrick Wilson... I don't think you need her. You can recast her.
Yeah, I don't know. And there's...
We recast lots of comic book movie characters. It happens all of the time. And there's no way, like, you lose James Wan or anybody. Like, if this is true, it's not good. And if
this is true, if it is true and she was abusing him, she should not be able to be in this movie. If it is true, she should not be allowed, because there is this double standard with women beating men versus men beating women. And if it's true that they were both doing it to each other, he should not be allowed to be in movies, and neither should she. But what it seems like right now to me, and again, this is still coming out, but if what's being alleged is fact, and she almost severed his finger straight up.
I want to read what Mr. Henry84 said right there. As a queer person, I'm truly upset by the actions of Smollett and Heard and the ramifications that it could have on the U.S. queer community. Like, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people
Well,
that
that's
will
not
want.
funny for me to tweet. I can't use
There's
that.
okay. I don't.
That wasn't a suggestion for that.
I don't know if that was the portmanteau suggestion, but I like where your head's at. But no, it is true because now these are exceptions, right? Like there's going to be people saying like, "Well, see, women beat up men just as much as girls," or domestic abuse is always a hoax. Like, no, these are exceptions, and
it's actually the lowest fiction. People lie about it the least of all crimes. Domestic abuse is the least lied about violation. So, but these are making it come in the public light.
And what's so disgusting about these crimes is that they're being perpetrated by people who already have so much more than most of us and seem so intent on having that little bit more to get that little bit over on everyone else and to see how dirty you have to play. Yes, the impacts on the queer community, but on anybody that believes that we're born in this country and we have a fair chance, I think the implications go way beyond any of that. And they are criminal. And so, yeah, I don't need Mira if it's true.
Senior Nerd says, if WB recast Will Smith, Amber Heard is not safe if these allegations from Johnny Depp is true. That's so valid that if they're willing to recast somebody based on scheduling conflicts, if you are a person who's abusing people, damn right WB is going to recast you.
I'd say the best thing for Aquaman 2 right now is that 4 years, that 4-year away date. That is the best thing because, like you're saying, WB can not be rash and fire her tomorrow because they have a long time before this film is even in pre-production. Mm-hmm. So hopefully all this will be settled and we'll know who is innocent and who's guilty in the eyes of the law before the movie has to make any decisions. So I think that's a good thing on the film is Warner Brothers doesn't have to do what Marvel did and play it wrong.
Yes.
I think they've got the time to
actually look into it. I agree. And they don't have to make any kind of statement. I would rather them come out, if they are going to make a statement, and just say, hey guys, I know that the public wants an answer on this. We are doing our due diligence as a company and looking into it.
That's all you say.
That's all
you got to say.
I just wanted to address from Eon001 in the chat. He said, so Heard actually lied. I've seen the video of Depp flipping out, though, just saying. I've seen the video as well, and I'm not saying that Depp is innocent in this situation. We don't know. But what we saw in that video was clearly one situation, and it was not what he's accusing her of, which is her beating herself up and claiming that he did that, her almost taking off one of his fingers and her beating him up also. So, I don't know. Could they both be at fault? Absolutely. We'll have to see how it unfolds and what the video evidence shows and what the allegations are.
Zeno Hour says, no offense, but I don't think we should be talking about this at the moment. Major outlets don't seem to be taking this seriously.
I don't get it.
I guess he's implying that. What are you implying there, Zeno Hour? That
we're talking about it in its relevant. We have to talk about it in general, but in its relevance to DC, she's one of the biggest women in the DC universe right now. We've got 10 of them that are big. We've got Wonder Woman. We've got Mara. We've got Iris.
Don't really got Lois Lane anymore.
I guess we got Lois. There's not that many, and she is one of the fiercest that we have. So it's relevant to the future of any DC movies, but especially Aquaman 2, which has already been announced. So it's important to talk about. But you're right that we don't know where it's going to go. So we'll keep updating you guys.
Okay. Let's talk about some positive stuff, shall we? There's a DC movie coming out in a couple of weeks, and in fact, you're going to be able to see it next week if you want to.
Which is so exciting.
Shazam is on the way. Go become an AMC or a Fandango VIP member, and you can get those tickets for the shows on Saturday the 23rd.
So I'm pulling up right now because our very own Mikey Christmas actually already saw this movie, and if you, by the way,
lucky summer bear.
If you're not following us already, go to DC Movies Live on both Twitter and Instagram, where he put up his initial reactions because the social media embargo is already up. But I will read to you guys now what he said about the movie. Now, this is just me reading his words. I have not seen the movie.
This is at Mikey Christmas. At
Mike Kalinowski.
At Mike Kalinowski.
He said, Shazam is fan-damn-tastic. So much heart, full of comedy that works, but also some dark moments that added drama and danger. The cast is wonderful. You just feel the love this movie wears on its sleeve. Score was perfectly utilized, and man, the huge ... That's all for now.
Wow.
So, the huge what?
You think he's got applying a little twist in there?
We'll see. But that's Mikey Christmas and everyone else we've heard. I've got to say,
Haven't heard
buzz.
negative stuff. Like I heard negative stuff about every other one. Even when they were mixed, these early reactions going back to BVS, even Wonder Woman, Aquaman was very kind of like more positive, but like dumb fun in these early. I'm not hearing much negative.
Me neither. And because of that, it looks like it's tracking very well, looking at a $40 to $45 million opening weekend.
Which I gotta think it's gonna do 20 more than that.
I think so too.
And honestly, you gotta remember this is a budget of like half of what Aquaman was. So you double that and like what your advertising is, and you're looking at $150 million, $160 million investment. If it makes $40 million in America opening weekend, like it's easily a $300 million, $350 at that point. But I don't know. I think
based off how people are seeing it and how much buzz I'm hearing for it, I'm thinking 60.
Yeah, I think so too.
But that's what the heck?
They're putting it out in 1,200 theaters just to create buzz. Only doing a couple of performances. Those are not to get big box office. Like I've heard some people say, like, will that dig into Captain Marvel's receipts? Like maybe but it's going to be the hardcore, the people that are the fans that are going to show up for this.
As Zachary Levi said, see both. Go see both.
Yes. Yeah, well, I mean, at this point, I think a lot of people have seen
Yeah.
Captain Marvel, if not multiple times.
I don't think that's why they're doing it. Although one could look at it cynically and say the social media embargo for Shazam did lift on opening night of Captain Marvel, and we
Right.
have moved our screenings up,
Right.
which does cut in slightly to Captain Marvel. And I'm not saying, you guys know I love DC, and it's just smart by them, but.
Jack Dennis says Shazam will open to 80 million. Easy.
Wow, Jack.
That sounds like 83, Jack. If you're saying it's easy, then that's like 83, 84.
The more I'm seeing of this film, though, the more I'm liking it. We got that new Chinese trailer, which you guys should go watch on your own. It's pretty cool, but there is more mentions, Adam, of other superheroes in this, I think, to cater to the Chinese market. Did you check out this trailer? Did I lose you?
No, I was just
Where did I lose you?
The trailer for
The Chinese trailer?
No, I did not see the Chinese trailer. Are we
Really
going to look
good.
at it now, aren't we?
We are not. People are going to look at
Okay.
it at home because we do not want to get a copyright strike.
Really?
Little peek behind that curtain there. I'm assuming that's why. I don't know.
Oh, I see.
But you guys can go check it out yourselves and make sure you're giving them the clicks anyway, because this trailer looks awesome, and it's not dubbed. It's in English, but there's just subtitles for it, and we get reference to Aquaman and Superman and Batman. And
I love how
action
they've been
figures,
telling
all
you
this
that,
stuff.
hey, I'm a DC character in the trailers, in the commercials. The reason I didn't watch it is just because we're so close to seeing it. I just want to get there already. I know Mikey was lucky enough to see it. We were trying to get to a screening, but it seems like the 23rd is almost here anyway.
I know,
so.
but I don't know. I'm still holding out hope.
We'll see. We do know that David F. Sandberg said that it was not Kevin Conroy that does the voice of the toy that says, I'm Batman.
Yeah, it was a random. It was nobody that I'd ever heard of. So it's not, but because somebody on Reddit was like, oh my God, it's Kevin Conroy. And Sandberg was like, it's not, but you could think that, which, all right, that's fine. So tons and tons of, new Shazam stuff.
Yeah, and again, just about the box office, the idea that 40 to 45 is not considered a bad opening, even though it would be the DCEU's lowest to date. As we said, this is because it's the New Line film, I think the budgets are a little more trimmed down at New Line Studios. And I know that they did go back and add more money to the movie to do some reshoots to make it maybe look a little more rich.
Mark Balam in the chat says Shazam could make $1 billion. We won't know until it's released.
It's true. I think what we're really going to know is on the 23rd. Once you get those trailers, once the Twitter streams and social media streams start filling with people's reactions, then it's going to really make opening weekend the event that people are not thinking it is right now. People's response to the trailers is very mixed. It is. I mean, and I can see that. I can see you can look at the trailer and think, oh, it just looks stupid. It doesn't really look that funny. But the reactions to the film are what are so positive. So I feel like that 23rd, that social media is going to be the best advertising for the film that we've seen yet.
Also, that morning is when the official embargo drops. So I think they're trying to push people there. Go into the chat. Ola Kunle Ine. Sorry, I butcher names. It's what I do. I've seen Shazam, and there's important twists in it. So maybe that's what Mikey was talking about.
Oh, yeah, it sounds like an important
Twist and
twist.
turn.
Oh, don't tell me anymore.
Don't tell me anymore.
So before we get any more news about what that twist might be, there's other films down the pike, films that have already finished wrapping, that we have to wait a long time for. For some reason, we've not heard a thing about Wonder Woman 84 for quite a while.
So now we have heard something about it.
Something interesting.
And it's the fact that Wonder Woman 84 is not a sequel.
Huh?
I really didn't understand what was going on here because I guess sequel by the technical term, maybe not. What do you think of when you think of it as a sequel, Adam?
I think of a new story with the same characters. You know, like the only way it would not be a sequel to me is if it discounted or contradicted the reality of the first movie and said same actors but a different universe. Like if it was like an anthology or something like that, where each episode was not supposed to have the same canon. But Charles Roven seems to imply that it does.
Yeah. So Charles Roven, being the producer, said that she was just determined that this movie should be the next iteration of Wonder Woman, but not a sequel, referring to Patty Jenkins. And she's definitely delivering on that. It's a completely different time frame, and you'll get a sense of what Diana/Wonder Woman had been doing in the intervening years. But it's a completely different story that we're telling, even though it'll have a lot of the same emotional things, a lot of humor, a lot of brave action, tugs at the heartstrings as well. Is it possible, Adam? Is it possible that this is not the same Earth Diana and not the same Earth Steve?
So that you can just have a new story and a new meeting between a new Steve. I did think of that.
And it doesn't matter, and we're now on Earth 34, and it is just totally different with Cheetah, and she has been Wonder Woman the whole time, and Steve never died, and they met in a different way.
And she knows a different Batman, wink, wink.
Yeah. Totally.
It's well, because you have the multiverse, you don't know, and I can't say for sure or no. He does imply, though, that there is references to what she's been doing in the intervening years, and also that they want it to be more singular, not unlike a Bond film.
Right.
While the Daniel Craig movies, and Mikey is definitely the expert in Bond here, I'm not. It seems like the Daniel Craig movies are more sequel-y, and the other ones, it's just a new story, usually a new Bond, not that much connectivity.
I kind of wonder if it's a marketing thing. I can tell you, someone who's not as into superhero movies, I get exhausted if I find out it's going to be too sequel-y. Like, already with Endgame, I'm like, oh man, now I have 4 hours of homework before I go into this.
Right.
So as a casual movie fan, I like hearing that it's not a quote-unquote conventional sequel, because I feel like as a casual moviegoer, I can go and enjoy the movie on its own terms.
I agree with that, Jeff. However, wouldn't you think that they would use it as a marketing tool to make you go buy the first Wonder Woman? Because usually what they say are things like, you should definitely check out the first Wonder Woman before you come and see this, aka up the Blu-ray views.
That's a good point.
So I don't know if it's a marketing tool. It's a strange one. We'll see if it works, but I think that they would get a lot of crap if this is a different Earth, if this is an alternate universe. I don't know if fans are going to fly for that. You guys let us know in the comments, because I could be dead wrong. And part of what we love about DC Comics and comics in general is that there can be these standalone stories like the Joker, different timelines, different universes. I just think this one wouldn't hit fans particularly well.
Yeah, so it just, the thing that makes this story interesting is the Steve Trevor mystery, which we know. We know that Chris Pine is in the film, but we don't know how, because he definitely perished in the last film, and we know that they don't want to undo that.
Did he definitely perish?
Well, I mean,
he could have came out and the helicopter, gotten out.
But it's also it's so many years later. He'd be an old man, so there's something that's going on there.
I'm making a joke. There's no way he survived it. It exploded. It was a plane in the sky and it exploded, and nothing fell out of it.
And you know what? I was thinking about that end of Wonder Woman the other day, and it does get a lot of crap for the third act, because it is a very like CGI heavy whatever fight. But part of that third act is that flashing back when they can't hear each other, and I'm like, that's a really powerful.
Which is one of the most powerful ever.
So yeah, when thinking about it, I'm like, yeah, Wonder Woman, it does have a lot of great things. I think I still believe that this one's going to be even better, though. I really do.
All right.
I'm excited for it. We got to move because we want to get to TV time and stuff like that.
You want to talk a little Aquaman?
Yeah, just to get back to Aquaman a little bit. It seems like Orm, while he may be in the film, is not going to be the primary villain in the sequel, which I think most of us sort of suspected.
And that's kind of what he said. He was basically like, yeah, I'll be in it, but I don't think it's going to be me as the villain, the main guy again. Which is like, okay.
Any shot he would turn up in the trench? Do you guys? I'm not familiar with the comic book trench mythos.
A lot of people are wondering whether Momoa's even going to show up in the trench. Some people were saying yes. I would think that's a hard no, but
I think you got to play it like a hard no, and then it's a surprise cameo, if anything. Like,
so probably like that with Orm as well.
I don't know. But I've heard the trench is like kind of like a recent, it's like a Jeff Johns creation, I believe. And it's like kind of more recent to the Atlantean mythology. So it doesn't have like the baggage of a lot of years. And I don't personally know that much about that mythology. So I'm curious as to what that story is going to be like. But it also seems that there's a new Aquaman exhibit.
Yeah, there's a new Warner Brothers exhibit. I actually think that our producer Ryan might have gone to this at Warner Brothers, but I'm not positive. If you want to look online, there's a bunch of videos that go around and they show you the costumes and some of the set pieces and all of that stuff. So if you're really into the behind the scenes stuff, they've got a lot of stuff in this exhibit, which was really cool to look at via video.
Nice. Well, that's cool stuff. The will they, won't they make it Flash movie seems to be happening. Things seem to be healthy, and we have new rumors to suspect that production could be beginning in November. Now, that's not to say that it will start filming this year, but that sounds like The Flash could be the next film to shoot after The Batman.
Yeah, I guess.
If that's to be believed, if this is to be true,
which would mean that would probably come after Wonder Woman 84 in 2021, so maybe in 2022 we would get it, or what do you think or what would that mean? Or maybe in 2021?
No, I think 21 is already pretty full because you have Suicide Squad 2 in August, but this could be, it could be big summer 22.
Suicide Squad is in 2020.
21.
No, Wonder Woman moved to 2020.
No, Wonder Woman is 2020.
And Suicide Squad 2 is
21. Yeah, so it's going to, right now it looks like it's going to be Batman, I think, in June of 2021, and then Suicide Squad 2 in August of 2021.
Okay.
I believe.
How is it possible that these dates
if my
every
DC
time,
movie, Matt, it's like,
yeah, you're right.
This is 4 years, we're the worst
August
at it.
2021.
I got it?
It's so, I can't believe it.
Yeah,
every
baby.
time I think I have it, every time I think I have a grip on when these are.
It's so
what
good.
are our 2020 films then? We've only got
2020 films are Wonder Woman and the Birds of Prey. And the fantabulous
Emancipation of one Harley Quinn.
It's all the ladies next year. 2020 is the year of the ladies.
I'm so sorry, guys. I do not mean to. I don't know if you guys are keeping up better than I do, but the second I think I have which August, which June, which... It just goes.
I wonder if it has anything to do with that other thing that you like to advertise and talk about so much.
Does it?
I don't know.
My head's in the TV clouds.
Oh, I wasn't. I was thinking about the TV.
Oh.
You know, some of the other things that you promote and talk about and express interest in sometimes.
Cannabis.
Oh, what? Yeah.
No, it's hard. And then Wonder Woman was pushed back, and Flash has been pushed back 16 times, and now we've got Black Adam in talks for when we're doing that.
That's why we got people like Zeno Hour out there, and Jack Dennis, and all the people.
But they're saying Birds of Prey is 2021.
No, they're wrong.
Oh.
It's 2020.
Okay. Let's see.
Matt Reeves did a little late night Q&A.
Yeah. You're on
I'm on, guys. I'm on. Don't stop me now.
What date is Birds of Prey? Which month?
Oh, Birds of Prey is happening.
DC Movie Quiz.
DC Movie Quiz. Birds of Prey is happening in like February of 2020.
What day in February?
February 8th, 2020.
7th.
Oh my goodness.
7th was so close.
Been hosting DC Movie News, baby, for like 4 years.
I can already hear the troll right now. Don't they host the show called DC Movie? You're right.
My mom is not listening to the show like that. Stop it.
That was not your mom.
Matt Reeves
She's
did this
called
little.
into the show before.
She has. Matt Reeves did this little Q&A last night. People were asking some funny questions. I don't know if you have the link there, Roxy, but he was doing a little Q&A, and there was one piece of information that was sort of just confirmed. If you have it, I'd love to see it because there were like some kind of funny back and forth that he had. So he just took to Twitter very early this morning, like at midnight, March 15th, and people were asking questions like, what are the chances that the Batman is going to appear? Batman will appear in The Batman. And he confirmed that was a possibility. Somebody else asked a question about Batman appearing in a doorway with a light being cast from behind him. And he said, depending on the angle of the light. And then,
do you guys know when you'll start filming it? Was a serious one.
Yeah, and
looking like sometime time around year's end.
Yeah,
which we've been saying for 6 months.
That's
now.
exciting. That's filming.
Yeah.
That's filming. Just think of how happy all the DC movie fans all over the world are going to be when they start rolling on another Batman film.
Yeah.
And especially what's great about it is after some successes, like if Shazam comes and it's a hit, then we got Aquaman followed by Shazam. And then like this Joker thing coming around the corner, which is insane that's coming this year too. Joker's coming out this year, guys. We waited a long time, but now it doesn't feel like so long between.
And that's October
19th, I want to say.
Let's look. DC movie
Joker.
quiz. Let's see.
October of 20. No, I said 19th because it's 2019. That's stupid.
Joker movie release. Well, I think you actually might be pretty accurate with that.
What?
It's October 4th.
I was wrong. October 4th.
You failed the city, Adam Gertler.
This is what we talk about the news, which is the dates.
Yeah.
So Armie Hammer also denied rumors again that he was going to
This
be
was amazing
Batman.
because it was on TMZ, and TMZ was like, "Are you going to be Batman?" And he was like, "No." And they were like, "Can you confirm that you are Batman?" He was like, "I cannot." And they were like, "Are you saying really you are not Batman?" He was like, "I am not." Like they just asked every single way that they could, and he was like, "No."
But you know what's funny about that, guys, is that right now nobody is.
Yeah.
We're in a
Well,
Batman-less
I'm
world
Batman.
right now. Besides
I'm
Roxy, who's
Batman.
holding the mantle, but nobody really has it. So even if he is in talks, he did not deny being in talks at this point. He did a couple of weeks ago. Mm-hmm. But in that time, Warner Brothers could have been
he
like,
denied it.
"Listen,
They asked him, "Are you doing this?"
just
He said
wondering
no.
if you're interested.
No.
Don't
He
tell
said
anybody
no.
we're talking to."
He
him.
said no 15 different ways.
Okay.
He said no, thank you.
So you're saying he's not going to be Batman?
I'm saying he's saying that.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. I'm telling you, he's telling us that he is not going to.
I know we got to get to TV time, but I did want to mention the fact that Affleck back there making the rounds. He had that movie Triple Frontier that came out, and he said that he would be still down to direct a DC movie, implying that there's no super bad blood.
When he was asked heavily about it. Like, keep in mind.
Well, like held down. I mean,
No, but it's not like he, on his own merit, was like, you know what I would love to do? I would love to direct a DC. They had asked him. They prompted him.
I take this to be more him saying, no bad blood, it's all good, still want to work with these people in the future, rather than seriously considering the fact that he would be doing a DC movie. But that being said, would you want to see one? Do you have any interest, or do you want to just be like...
I always had interest in a Ben Affleck, Jeff Johns team up. Because one knows filmmaking and one knows comics well, and I wanted to see some kind of combination of what they could bring to the team, which is what I thought we would get. So yeah, I would love to see. I love Ben Affleck work. I think he makes amazing art. So yes, I would like to see that. I lost you again?
No, yeah. You think you would do amazing, but these people were saying that there was a trailer that these guys were talking about. They said it didn't look good. Like, it doesn't even look like a film, but I was trying
They're
to...
talking about the Netflix show, movie that he had.
Oh, Triple Frontier.
Yeah.
Did you watch it?
No, but I thought that the trailer actually looked awesome.
I got to tell you, most of those Netflix films, I don't like. I like a lot of the shows.
Did you watch the movie?
I did not yet. I downloaded it. I was going to watch it on the plane. The only one I've really loved so far was that one with Mads Mikkelsen.
I'm loving all of the cheesy teenage drama ones.
I just started watching
Like
the
Package
crazy
and-
animated show, Love and Robots and
I
Death
saw
or something.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That looked awesome. It's like heavy metal,
All
but
right,
like
we
better.
have to move forward. Speaking more about Batman, we got a lot of different stuff. The Dark Knight trilogy is coming back to IMAX, which is cool. Although Adam informed me right before the show that you can't get tickets anymore.
I think it's sold out already.
So that's
Cheryl, is this
bummer.
true? Confirm or deny that? Is it one night? What's the deal?
I think that each one of them was getting a different night because they were
Okay.
doing the whole trilogy from
Good.
what I was reading. But you guys can correct me if I'm wrong.
That makes more sense.
Yeah, something like that, because it was all three of them, hence trilogy. Also, Ray Fiennes would love to play Alfred in a live-action version. He voiced him in the Lego movies, so I would actually like to see that. I think that he could make a good Alfred.
Oh yeah, he'd be perfect. In fact, he'd be perfect in the same vein that Jeremy Irons is. They're about the same age. I think maybe Ray Fiennes is like 10 years younger, maybe.
Can you do an Alfred? Mike can.
Well, he does an Alfred like this. He does a Michael Caine, Master Wayne. I know it's not great.
No, it was good until you said it's not great.
Well, no, but I went into a different accent. This
No,
is
do
me.
the first one.
This is me talking like Michael Caine, Master Wayne, I will not watch another Wayne be buried.
It's pretty good. I actually think it's pretty good. In the chat,
Some
Ryan
men
Peterson.
just want to watch the world burn.
Ryan Peterson said he would be a great Alfred, and I agree with that. Tons of what?
Your hands.
It was too loud.
I don't know.
Oh,
Said hands rocks up there.
Good that I catched on all your cues. Again, we're just poking back the curtains for everybody.
You see it.
Let's talk about Batman versus Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
I can't believe this is coming out. I did not know that this was happening.
Yeah, well, it is, and this was a trailer that showed us how much it is happening. It was kind of wild. I enjoyed the trailer. Did you check?
I have not watched the trailer yet. Does it look good? I'm excited to see it.
It kind of did. It looked weird,
Chat
but
roll,
it
what do you
kind of
guys
looked
think?
good. Yeah, I would love to hear from you guys what you thought on this, because I kind of was expecting to go on this and not like it, and then I checked it out and was like, wow, this is weird, and I'm kind of down. It was weird. It was definitely weird.
I watch all these, and as we know, if you have DC streaming service, you're going to be able to check out all those original films. And if you don't have the streaming service, I guess we should stop right here. We're heading on over. We're going to cross onto the other side of the show for the last minutes. So
Stop, collaborate, and listen. It's back with it.
I like that. I tried to segue so smooth,
And then I did it.
and then it was just like, no, you can't get over there from here. You have to go
No.
through the gate.
No, let's open it.
TV time.
All right, we got tons of stuff to go over and so little time, so we're gonna flash
Speed round.
on through this. Speaking of flashing through something, The Flash got a new showrunner.
Oh my God, really?
Yeah, we got a new showrunner for next season. We're changing showrunners, which is interesting. I know you were teeing me up for DC
I know,
Universe,
it's
and
okay,
I
it's
didn't
okay.
go that. But it was interesting to see, because I thought that everything was going all fine and dandy with The Flash. You never really know exactly why they're making these changes internally. But with Arrow coming to its final season and whatnot, I want to give this guy his credit. We are changing to Todd Helbing will depart, and the person who is coming in, I put his name on some doc, Eric Wallace.
Okay.
Eric Wallace has proven his exceptional talent and voice in season 4, and we couldn't be more thrilled to watch how he shapes the future of Team Flash and the many thrilling adventures that lay ahead for our characters and its dedicated fans. That is what Todd Helbing said. So interesting that we're switching it up.
Yeah, that is
Actually, that's
interesting.
what Greg Berlanti said about him.
Oh, great.
So if in Berlanti we trust, so if Berlanti said it, then it's so.
That's cool. I'm like a good couple of episodes in the hole on The Flash right now.
Like you're not caught up.
I'm not caught up. I'm like 5, 6 back. And I do like that show, but it is just interesting. Like I say, it's always proof to me the shows that I need to plow through and can't wait for, and then ones that build up in the DVR. So
This season's been okay.
it just seems like a lot of
been
more of the
okay.
same. It's not that it's bad. It's just that I've seen it before, so this excites me.
Archie says Flash needs a lift, so that's kind of what
That's
it sounds
great.
like you're saying. So this is good.
I've been preferring to watch the shows on the streaming platform, DC Universe. If I may bring you over to my exit again.
Yeah, go ahead.
And I say, like, and a lot of people are like, have not taken the plunge yet. They're waiting for it to come in. And I just found out before coming in here that apparently you can get DC Universe for free from March 15th to the end of the month. Not the whole thing for free, but you can watch the first couple of episodes of Titans, of Doom Patrol, which is so bizarre, and Young Justice season 3.
Which is showing me a couple of things. Number one, that they trust in their shows, that they're good enough that it will sell you. But number two, that they're not doing as well as they were hoping they would be doing. The fact that they're allowing this now and not at the beginning. So that's kind of interesting.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I necessarily see it that way, because now they have 3 original shows that are out there. And at the beginning, they would only be able to show you the first episode of Titans. So I think it's cool that at this point where they're at, they can show you a couple of different things that they have. And it's still so early on.
I definitely recommend getting it to at least check out Doom Patrol, because I'm loving that. So I think that, yeah, go. And now coming back to My Fence. So let's jump back over to My Fence. Let's get to Grant Gustin. You guys can read this in your own time, but he wrote a pretty sentimental goodbye post to Arrow. He said it was kind of like finally sinking in that Stephen Amell wasn't going to be there and all this stuff. And you know that they all shoot together and very close on set. So that was really nice to see him write on Instagram. Also, sticking with CW, let's talk about Batwoman, because it came out this week via Deadline that Greg Berlanti said the pilot of Batwoman is actually taking place before the crossover event.
Yeah,
so we're going back to the origin, which makes perfect sense.
Yeah, it makes total sense. Yeah,
because we have to do that.
And we've heard rumors that we will see a little Batman in this. I know that they've said like officially that you won't see Batman, but I think
You're saying he's going to be really little.
It's going to be tiny Batman. Tiny Batman is in the film. Batmite is in the film. No, I think you're going to see similar. I would guess that you're going to see Batman in a capacity similar to what we saw on Doom Patrol, which is like not direct face shots.
What we saw on Titans.
Titans, excuse me. Yeah. Not Doom Patrol.
Then we've got casting going to Titans. S.I. Morales. I don't know if that's how you say it.
Morales,
Esai,
I think,
that's I know his face from everywhere. He's literally been in like every one of those procedural and whatnot shows. But he is joining the DC universe as Deathstroke. So we're getting a Deathstroke, which is the start of seeing different casting for CW characters versus the DC universe characters.
That's true. Is that the first such character? Wow.
First that I can think of.
Different world. That is really cool. And also Manganiello not stepping up anytime soon, it seems to imply.
Yeah.
Those hoping to see Manganiello sooner than later.
Unless he is, and they're just playing up the different timeline, different universe, different everything.
Yeah, but it seemed like Cyborg showed up on Titans, right, on Doom Patrol. I keep mixing them up pretty quickly.
Yeah, true. We also got a trailer for the Bane episode of Gotham because we did not get an episode of Gotham last night. So Red Band trailer is up now. Make sure you guys check that out because hopefully you're as excited for that Gotham episode as I am, as we're coming down to the last couple of episodes. We also had new episodes of Arrow, Flash, Black Lightning, Supergirl, and Doom Patrol. We have amazing in-depth coverage of all of those things on AfterBuzz TV. So if you want an in-depth coverage for any of those shows, check out our sister network, AfterBuzz TV, and they'll break it all down for you. But in general, I will say this wasn't my favorite week of TV for CW. We still had that second part of the Doom Patrol episode. Did you check out this one?
No, I have one in the chamber. I'm excited to watch that. I'm definitely going to watch that today.
Yeah, so it's getting a little weird. It's getting a little weird, and we're getting to that CW, that midpoint where we're getting a little antsy. Like,
okay.
All right, so
you want stuff to be happening.
Happen. You know, I know you guys have 22 episodes to fill, but something happened.
We didn't know we were. Is it also like not a lot of Timothy Dalton in this one? They seem to be using him very sparingly.
There's actually tons of Timothy Dalton in this one. Yeah,
good.
Which I was really happy
I
about.
like him.
So definitely worth checking out. And as I said, go to AfterBuzz TV if you want more on those shows, because that's all we have right now for TV time.
Oh, someone brings up the good point. They want to lean into this Deathstroke being of Latin American descent.
Yeah, which is good and cool.
Interesting.
And also they got a very seasoned actor to do it. Eon's asking about news on Krypton. I don't have any news on Krypton, but it is coming.
Yes, I'm not aware.
Yeah, it's coming back. So,
but that's all. We'll probably have a lot more news next week, guys. This was fun, just being with you, Roxy.
Maybe we'll have even seen it. We don't know.
Oh my God, wouldn't it be something if we've seen it? Jonny LoQuasto, I think he's not going to be here next week either. But find him, talk to Johnny, talk to him about all these stories at Jonny LoQuasto, Mike Kalinowski. Of course, he's at Mike Kalinowski. Roxy, where can people find you?
At Roxy Striar. They're playing us off, Adam. They're playing us off.
I
we
like
gotta
that.
go.
I think that's like, you know, when you kind of hear it, it's like he's an improv partner that we're partnering
Jeff's
with.
like, I'm done with DC for the day. No more.
So another peek behind the curtain, guys.
I'm Adam Gertler. You can find me at Adam Gertler. Watch FX Movie Download next Friday on FX to learn all you knew you needed to know about Ride Along 2. We'll see you next time on DC Movie News.
From producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire Popcorn Talk Network, we would like to thank you for tuning in. For questions or comments, be sure to visit popcorntalk.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of the Popcorn Talk Network.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of its owners or principals.